В программу «Горская среда». Добро пожаловать!
Ура!
БДУРО, культурно-образовательный центр. В эфире программа «Горский Wednesday», «Горская среда». Сегодня у нас очень-очень особенный вечер. Вечер, который проспонсировал наш дорогой друг Валера Пинхас Мататов. Матетов, I'm sorry. Валера Пинхас Матетов. Люль Нишма для возвышения души его бабушки Роза Ашурова. Роза Бат Ишпи. Right? Руах Адунай Танахен Беганеден, чтобы ее душа возвышалась в Ганедене. Спасибо большое, Пинхас, за то, что вы для нас сегодня такой прекрасный стол накрыли. И пицца, и суши, и прекрасные виски. Дай Бог, чтобы вы никогда ни в чем не нуждались, чтобы Всевышний благословил вас в изобилии, вас, вашу семью, чтобы у вас все было хорошо. Аминь. Также я хочу поблагодарить Шимона Рахамиева за то, что он каждое утро приходит, проводит молитву, начинает молитву. Это нелегко, у нас не всегда миньян собирается, и поэтому это большой мисрут нефеш, это большой, как сказать, отдача, когда человек от себя отдает, приходит и начинает проводить молитву. Это it's a big deal. Дай Бог, чтобы Всевышний вам дал, сказать, много сил. Продолжайте. Джуро Амбаргер. Так, сегодняшний вечер у нас осталось 2 недели до Рош Hashanah. Как раз Sunday night. Это 2 недели будет уже Рош Hashanah. Осталось совсем чуть-чуть. И поэтому к этому... Next Sunday night, right? Да, с Божьей помощью, чтобы мы дожили до этого времени и весь следующий год, дай Бог. И это очень-очень такое важное время. И немножко нам поговорить об этом времени. Что такое Рош Hashanah? Что такое Рош Hashanah? What is Rosh Hashanah? На английском? Окей. What is Rosh Hashanah? Today we're going to speak in English.
Рош это начало.
Начало, Рош.
Голова.
Шана это год.
Да.
Начало года.
Сэр, как сэр?
Голова.
Как Азунджури?
Сэр Салы. Сэр Салы.
Сэр Салы или?
Тазасал.
Тазасал?
Тазасал, да.
Тазасал Новый год был.
Ну правильно, сэр Салы это когда, не дай Бог, когда годовщина была и Йорца. Рош Hashanah это Тазасал.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's talk about Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is the beginning of the year. Just today, I happen to be learning Mishnah Berurah. It's talking about Hilchot Shabbat, something not related to Rosh Hashanah at all. He's talking about. Thank you very much, Zoe. He's talking about the laws of Shabbat, that a person must spend money on Shabbat, must treat Shabbat with kavod and with honor. And then the Mishnah Berurah brings down the following words of our sages, of Chachamim. It says, whoever spends money on Shabbat, they provide him more money. Why? Because whatever is said from year to year, right now, Rosh Hashanah, I ask you, what's Rosh Hashanah? Rosh Hashanah is basically a budgeting time.
Я извиняюсь, наши бабушки говорили, они говорят, еще Рош Алло все время так. Вот это они подразумевали, когда Рош Hashanah, когда они еще Рош Алло. Все они так говорят.
Отлично.
Мы сейчас так говорим.
И сейчас так говорят.
Мы продолжим.
Мы доходили целыми сохранности.
Это значит радостные, салон, чтобы дошли до радостных годов.
Амин, амин, амин. Лехаим. Лехаим. Чтобы был сладкий и хороший год.
Лехаим.
Rosh Hashanah is basically a budget time. You know what? I work as a full time as an accountant. This is I can relate to this very, very much.
The cycle of the
Yeah, and as often I represent the landlord in the real estate transactions, and when the management company goes over budget, we push the red buttons like, oh, over budget, what are you doing? I have to stay within budget. Okay, so Rosh Hashanah is basically when God sets a budget for the year, and He says, this year you are gonna get $200,000. Amen. Для кого-то амен, для кого-то it's like, oh, it's still little. After taxes.
Нам 200 хватит.
$500,000. Why not?
Before or after taxes?
Whatever, call me shalot libcha, whatever your heart desires, whatever it is. I'm just picking a random number. I don't want to offend anybody, So, and then person, this is what he's gonna get. But then He has Shabbat expenses. Whatever he spends on Shabbat, on holidays, or on Torah for his kids, whatever he spends on Torah tuition, to pay, you don't, this money you're gonna get extra. This is what the rabbis are telling us, and we believe this. And it takes a miracle in 2018. If you live in Brooklyn and you want to send your kids to Jewish school, it takes a miracle to do that, and it takes a lot of faith. It takes a lot of emunah, because just this past week we had a women's event. Whoever came. We had, Baruch Hashem, maybe here a group of 30 ladies, maybe more. I didn't count, but it was a nice big group.
When?
2 Sundays ago. I advertised for like 3 weeks. So it was like 2 weeks ago. They gathered here on Sunday afternoon. We had a class. We said barachot. It was beautiful. We said tehillim. It was really, really beautiful. And after this event, one woman came over to me, and she says, she was almost crying. She felt very, very bad. She came over and she said, we're trying to send our kids to yeshiva. My son, he was in public school, and we can afford our daughter's tuition, but we cannot afford our son's tuition. Could you help out? And by the way, whoever wants to contribute, I'm still trying to raise funds to help this lady. But it's on the point right now I'm trying to tell you is that she's like, it costs a lot of money to send the child to yeshiva, and we can barely afford it. And I say, I'll try my best, but I feel bad for her. But it takes a lot of emunah, it takes a lot of courage from whoever has children to send their children to Jewish school. It takes a lot of courage to say, it costs a lot of money, I'm still sending my children, and I know Hashem, you will take care of me.
Provide.
And it also takes as much courage to spend money on Shabbat. Let's say somebody is broke and he barely has money to pay rent, and then he goes ahead and says, I don't care. I'll spend my last $50 on, I'm going to get a nice piece of meat, I'm going to get a challah, I'm going to get a nice bottle of wine for Shabbat. Hashem, I'm doing it for you. This is my last money I'm spending on you. You should know, it's a big zchut. It's a big, big merit to deserve to spend money on Shabbat. And Hashem says, I'm not blind, I see everything. Every penny you spend on Shabbat, I'm going to pay you 10 times. Yes, and it's a big zchut for all of us. So all the money that we get on Rosh Hashanah, Hashem says, this is how much you're going to earn this year. Whatever we spend on Shabbat, Yom Tov, and on the children education, Jewish education, it's not included in the budget. It's above the budget, and we're going to get reimbursed for this many times more. It's a big zchut. So don't be cheap. Send your kids to yeshiva. Don't be cheap. Spend money on Shabbat.
There's a very good, I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's a very good school, Yeshiva Or Eliezer. Yeshiva Or Eliezer. Or Eliezer. He's 15 between J and Ken. Please send your kids over there.
Okay. Hey,
Rabbi Shlomo Milston.
Okay. Hey, you got recommendation for yeshiva also. If you didn't know where to send your kids,
High school.
Zaur can hook you up and
no problem. Anytime.
Okay.
Yeshiva Or Eliezer.
Here we go.
I guarantee you will get to the best college ever.
And
After
okay, sounds
after
good.
high school.
Now what?
Guys, it's right.
This okay. Tell me, guys, which one? L'chaim. Which one special mitzvah we have on Rosh Hashanah? We don't have other days. L'chaim.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Rosh Hashanah we have one special mitzvah. We don't have any other day.
One mitzvah that we don't have any other day.
Yes.
Yom Adin, it's
Shofar. Very good.
Shofar,
Albert says shofar. Shofar is the one special mitzvah that we have Rosh Hashanah. We don't have any other day.
the Ashkenazi.
So what is this? What is this shofar? Tchiyat shofar. Huh?
No.
Kippur. Okay. Very good. Khan, just mentioned that Kippur we also blow shofar. First of all, we do not blow shofar on Kippur. We blow shofar right after Kippur.
Right after, in the end of Kippur.
And the end of the Kippur. You have to make sure that the Kippur is over when you blow the shofar, because on Kippur you're not allowed to blow shofar. Okay, and that's a minhag. It's a custom. It's a symbolic custom, but it's not a mitzvah. On Rosh Hashanah, it's the essence of the day. It says Yom Tru'ah. This is the day when we blow shofar. Or if it falls out on Shabbat, we say Yom Zichron Tru'ah. We remember we're supposed to blow shofar, but it's in the Torah. This is the day of the blowing of shofar, and we have to understand what's the shofar. What's the shofar is about. So there are two mashalim. There are two parables. Oh, Yosef HaTzadik. Shalom, shalom. There are two parables that I want to share with you. One is from Baal Shem Tov. He says like this, that a king had once a son, a very, very dear son he loved very much, and he gave him money, and he sent him off to experience life, to experience different cultures, different countries. And the kid went, and sometimes, kids, they don't have life experience. They get cheated, they spend money on something that they shouldn't spend money to. They learn the hard way, And the guy wasted some of the money. He wasted some of the money. He lost. And before you knew it, he was broke. And he went from country to country trying to get home, trying to get to the king's palace. And then finally, he gets to the king's palace. And he understands that when he left, he was very young. And now it's been 20 years later, he doesn't even remember the language of his fathers. Zun Dadai, right? Zun Babai, Zun Dadai. The language of his father or the language of his mother, he doesn't remember. So he has to come to Gorsky Wednesday to learn the language,
Shema.
So he comes and he can't even explain to the guard he's the son of the king. And he's like, he can't, and he starts crying, he starts screaming. And then the king overhears his son's voice. He says, "Oh, это мой ребенок, this is my son. This is my son." He comes out and he gives him a huge hug. He says, "My son, where have you been? What happened to you? You don't even remember our language." And this is basically what shofar is. Rosh Hashanah, this is how Baal Shem Tov explained the concept of shofar. He says, Rosh Hashanah, we're the children of Hashem, and a lot of us have been lost. Even those of us who think we're religious and everything, we've been lost throughout the year. We get busy, we say Lashon Hara, we forget about the things that are important, we places our emphasis, things that are not important. We run after this and that, we run after our eyes, we forget about Hashem. And finally Rosh Hashanah comes, it's like a knock on the door, wake up, come home, my son. The king is telling us, come home, my son. And then we blow shofar. We sometimes we don't have the words to express, and to express our needs, to express our love, to express our connection. And then we blow the shofar. It's like the scream of the neshama. It's the scream of the soul. Как будто наша душа кричит. We blow the shofar.
It wakes up the soul.
And wakes up the soul. That's what the Rambam says, right? But we blow the shofar, and it's like the king. We're telling Hashem, here we are. We came to talk to you. Come out. And give us a hug, take us home. This is one mashal from Baal Shem Tov. Another mashal, a very interesting mashal from Rabbi Levi Yitzhak Miberdichev, also another Hasidic.
What Rambam said about?
Rambam says it's like I come to wake you up, the neshama. It's like the wake up call. It's this. I remember my Rosh Yeshiva Simcha Bunim Berger. He used to tell us. And I think he got it from Rav Amnon Etzchak. It's very interesting mashal also. He says, a scuba diver. Scuba diver? I never did it, but a lot of people do it. It's I think it's a lot of fun, right? When you go underwater with your glasses, and and now they have the tank behind the back. But it used to be you had the pipe.
Yeah,
to the top, right?
Above the water, yeah. That's snorkeling.
Right.
That's snorkeling. You stay.
But let's say we stick with the modern times, right? You have the tank.
Yeah.
You have the tank behind your back, and let's say it's only enough for half an hour.
Yeah.
And let's say you go deep, like so you go so deep, and then it take you an hour to get back, but you only have a tank for half an hour. So the Rambam says, Rashaim, they're like meitim, they're like dead in this world. So you say the people who are evildoers, злодеи, они как будто мертвые. What does that mean? What does it even mean? Что злодеи как будто мертвые. We see, злодеи. We see like sometimes people are bad. They don't keep mitzvot. They don't keep Shabbat. They're treating other people like slaves. They're nasty and everything. They like. They drive a very expensive car. They live in a very big house and they're having a life. And they say, what is this Rashaim Machshma? What is this people? What are they doing? Why God even giving them money? Why God gave them this big house? Like these people are having a great life. And they say Rashaim Meitim, and the Rambam says what the evil people are like that in this world. What does it mean? So how you understand this? He says, imagine the scuba diver. He's deep under the water. He's exploring. He sees this exotic fish. he sees the yellow and the orange, and they're swimming around, and he sees these beautiful plants and the coralline reef, and he sees everything. And if you take him right now, he's having the best time of his life, but he has enough oxygen only for another half an hour, for 20 minutes. He will never make it back. Why? Because he's so deep. He's maybe an hour away. He's so deep, he will never make it back to the top. So if you take him this second, you say he's alive or he's dead.
Why do you think all the rich people are Russian?
No, God forbid. I didn't say this. Why did I say this? No, God forbid.
No,
not all the rich people are bad.
Some.
Well, we will get to this topic in a second. I said,
I know
well,
the rich one that is
I agree with you 100%. You know what? I'll go to your point in a second, but I want to finish this point, okay? No, God forbid. Not all rich people are bad, and you're supposed to be rich if you want to get the Shekhinah.
Yeah,
in you.
Hashem
Okay?
gives them.
If you mentioned this already, let's say the Gemara says, if you want to get the Shekhinah,
Yeah.
you have to be gibor, you have to be strong,
Yes.
you have to be rich, you have to be wealthy, and there are other qualities. What else? Huh?
Happiness. Simcha.
That's another place. I think you have to be sameh, you have to be bisimcha, right? You have to be happy. So in order to get the Shekhinah, you have to be rich. It's one of the prerequisites. It's not nothing wrong with being rich. Nothing wrong with being rich. It's not the money. It's how you use it.
That's
Right?
a different story, right?
Right, I'm not talking about that. So if it came across that I meant, if I said that all rich people are bad, it's not what I meant. God forbid. I wish
No,
for all of you,
no,
I wish for all of you to be wealthy and rich and give to Beit Juro, B'ezrat Hashem. and not just to be rich to have a good time, but to be rich like Moshe Rabbeinu. He was wealthy to bring down the Shekhinah upon yourself and your family and your house.
Yeah.
It's one of it's nothing wrong with being rich. It's good. Money by itself is not bad. It's a tool, right? It's how you use it. Some people use money on bad things.
About the rich people in negative ways.
No, not true. Not true.
rich
We
people
had
like
we have
Rasha.
plenty of rich people who were very good. Rabbi Tarfon
I would like
was
to hear,
rich.
I would
Moshe
like to hear
Rabbeinu
all
was
the
rich.
time about the rich people.
Amos
Amos
was rich. Yonah, Yonah. We're gonna be reading on Yom Kippur, the book of Yonah.
Yes.
Right?
Was rich, right?
The Gemara says he was rich.
rich,
How does the Gemara know he was rich? Because it says when he came to get on the ship, they says we have to wait for other passengers. He says I'll pay for everybody. How does he have money to pay for everybody? He basically was ready to rent out the whole yacht. It's like the rich people that nowadays you get a glass of champagne, you're cruising your yacht. I don't think Yonah got the champagne, but but he said I pay for everybody. I'm sorry.
Who is not rich in the self bucket, the rich and the self
And the heart.
In the heart. Okay, so this is another point that Pinchas is saying.
Yeah.
Very, very important point.
Sure.
The wealth, it's not the how much money you have. Is ashir, asamer bechelko. Who is happy? The happy person is not the one who has a lot of money. There are a lot of people who has a lot of money, but they're not happy. But the happy person is the one who is happy with his lot. And somebody appreciates his life. He says, "Thank God, I'm healthy. I have my legs. I have my arms. I'm married. Thank God, I have kids.
Okay.
Family is good.
Yeah, so
healthy.
even if somebody is single, he still has things to be thankful for. Everybody has things he can be grateful for, and so is a ashir who is wealthy. It doesn't mean that he has a lot of money, but money does play a role, and the life is very, very expensive. I just spoke about it on Shabbat. Jewish life is very expensive.
this way.
I came to somebody in 2003. His name is Michael Leibov. He's a successful entrepreneur. He had business in Moscow, and I came to him. I said, "Mr. Leibov, right now, I'm trying to decide on my career path. What should I do? I have two roads. One is like I can become a social worker. They will accept my 4 years in yeshiva. They will accept it as a bachelor's degree, bachelor's in Talmudic law, and they will accept me in master's program. Should I go for that, or should I go for accounting? What do you think it's more beneficial for me? What do you think is the best way to go? He told me for sure go for accounting. I says, why? I think I'll make a good social worker. She says, long term, I think there's more money in accounting. So whoever is here, social worker, maybe he can dispute that or testify the correctness of the statement. But this is what he told me. And then he told me something. He says, I lived in Monsey at that time. He says, if you want to live in upstate Monsey, and you want to have a good family, and you want to have a house and have a normal life like everybody else, that was in 2003. He says you have to make like $100,000 a year at least.
That's right.
To be on the,
to pay just to pay the bills.
on the steady line.
And he says, why you want to send your kids to yeshiva? It costs money, right? And he says, if you think you're gonna ask for a discount and a tuition reduction, he says education is what you pay for it. If you pay a full tuition, you can demand a good education. And he says, if you ask for a discount, it's harder. He's saying it's not the same. So he was very much. He says you have to go out and earn and provide for your family, and it costs a lot of money to support a family. So nothing wrong with being rich. I wish for all of you to become wealthy, to support your families, to support your synagogues, your communities. Jewish life is very, very expensive, and B'ezrat Hashem should bless us and every single person that we could give back to and fulfill our religious duties. It costs a lot of money. So nothing wrong with being rich. So the shofar, another idea about the shofar. So let me finish this mashal about the Rashaim. So somebody is scuba diving, he's under the water. Basically, he's still alive. He's having a great time, right? But he will never make it back to the surface. Right. At this moment, he has 20 minutes left to the oxygen, and he's like 45 minutes under the water. He will not make it alive. But so this is how we're supposed to look at life. Life is great. Baruch Hashem, we're alive, but we have a job. It's not like we just to что нас Бог сюда спустил не просто так, not just to have a fun, not just to go around bars and restaurants and drive nice cars, but to fulfill our mission, to fulfill our job. We have avodah. We have each one of us has a special mission. We play a special role, or else God won't create us. If God created us, then that means each of us has a job. Besides that specific job, we have a general job. General job is to keep the mitzvot.
The problem is to know the specific one.
The specific job is a problem, right? Sometimes
you have to realize which one is it.
Sometimes it takes a lifetime to discover what that specific job is. Right. That's right. Shlomo is saying very good. It's sometimes very hard. It says, what does Hashem want from me personally? Right. But that's in the Torah. It used to be it was easy. You go to Navi, you go to a prophet, идешь к пророку, говоришь, пророк, prophet, what does God want from me? And he says, from you, he wants to go work. From you, he wants to go and sit in Kolel. And from you, he wants to do half and half. And from you, he wants to become go out to that town and talk to the people and do your job there. For you, he wants to be a doctor. And for you, he wants to be a social worker. From you, he wants to be a laundryman, or something. So it used to be this way, and it was much easier, but it was much harder at the same time. Nothing is for nothing. Everything costs money. Everything has a cost. So to have this prophecy, to have nevuah, we were exposed to greater danger. What's the danger? Is the Yetzer Hara for Avodah Zarah. Right? A lot of Jewish people, they worshipped idols. If you read the book of Yechezkel, chapter 8, chapter 9, he's describing the Jews during the first temple. During the first temple, they put an image of Avodah Zarah in the temple. First they put it in the Echal, in the temple, and then they put it in the Holy of Holies. They said, God, we want to kick you out. We want to kick you out from Beit HaMikdash. They turned their backs and to the east, and they worship the sun, and their buds, свои попы, они показывали спиной к Богу, к Кодеш Кодашим, Святая Святых, and they turned their backs to Hashem. He says, God, we don't want you. We want to worship the sun and the moon. And how do you understand this? We don't understand this. Why? Because we don't understand the Yetzer Hara of the Avodah Zarah. How come? Because we don't have. Our
generation is hard to understand something.
Okay, so our generation, we have this guy, right? This guy over here,
right?
Which is streaming live right now, right on Facebook. This is extremely super powerful tool, right? You could use this to spread the Torah. Like right now, we have a shiur Torah, and like me, a little nothing, who barely knows anything. and I could give a shiur of Torah, and I could have hundreds of people watching.
at the same time, yeah.
And let's say you have a big Rosh Yeshiva from Lithuania from 100 years ago who was a million times bigger than me. He didn't have this chance, right? He couldn't spread his deep thoughts and his secrets of the Torah. He knew and I didn't know. He didn't have this opportunity. Wow. But what I have also the cell phone that I can go, and in 1 minute I could see all the disgusting things that my eyes should not see. In 1 minute I could see whatever my grandparents didn't see in a lifetime. So there's always a cost. There's always a cost, right? And the why, to have the prophecy, you have the Yetzer Hara of the Avodah Zarah. And to have a powerful technology that we have today, that we could spread the Torah, anybody could spread the Torah, right? Each person could go online and share Torah videos, and could share Torah articles, and could share Torah thoughts, and he could reach thousands of people.
There's
literally.
no reason to say in our time that you can learn Torah. That's for sure.
Right, and exactly, and exactly.
All you gotta do is
Used to
Google,
be.
teach me Torah, and you'll have it right there.
Yes, exactly.
That's it.
Google, what's the parasha today? It
That's
says
it.
today the parasha is Kitavo. Exactly, you're right. It's very, very easy to learn Torah, but it's easy not to.
Not to.
Right? It used to be that 100 years ago we didn't have Art Scroll, and if you want to learn Torah, you have to know Hebrew, you have to know Aramaic, and you have to have a rebbe, you have to have a teacher, and it wasn't easy.
Yeah, you have to know Gorsky.
But now you drive and you have a choice. You can listen to radio, you can listen to music, or you can listen to a class of Torah, and it's your choice. Exactly, nobody has an excuse. They say, well, I don't know Hebrew, I don't know Aramaic, I'm patur, I'm exempt from the Torah, I grew up in non-Jewish environment, I didn't go to Hebrew school. No, that's an excuse. If you really want, and you could learn, instead of watching TV every night, just open the book, or don't even open the book. You don't even have to get up from your couch. Just take out your cell phone and go online and read something. Or if you're too tired to read, just put on an audio or video.
And hear. And hear whatever they say.
Even if you're already on YouTube, just type Beju Ro or Gorsky Wednesday, and you'll have hundreds of classes that we posted in the last 4 years, and pretty much every holiday.
L'chaim, whatever you say should come up.
Come true.
Amen.
Come true.
May Yahu help for everyone.
Amen. Amen. Ki ratzon.
So I'm gonna end off with the following very interesting idea, which I learned today. It was for me. It was a chidush. It was something new. That basically on where do we see shofar in the Torah besides Rosh Hashanah? Where do we see shofar? Shofar, yeah. Shofar.
Mount Sinai.
Where?
Mount Sinai.
Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai, by the way, for Gorsky Jews is a crucial turning point in history. This is where we find the first Gorsky Jew ever. Right, Moshe Rabbeinu, he says he went up to Mount Sinai, and then he came back. He came back from the mountain, right? Moshe Rabbeinu. В Торе написано, что он был горский. Моше спустился с горы, а Моше поднялся на гору.
Он на Рубей не понимает это. Рубей не понимает.
Он джербенский был?
Не, Нарчинский.
Нарчинский?
And Yoshua was also a Gorsky Jew. He was the first person to split the river that separated from the Kuba from Krasnaya Sloboda.
Каспийское море, да?
Yeah. Anyway, so. Yovel. Okay, so we have two places, the major places in the Torah that is talking about shofar. One is like Yechiel said, is Matan Torah, when we receive the Torah.
And also when Yitzchak was brought by father to sacrifice. And
Right.
Okay, three places. We have three major places. Very good. Very good. We have here Baruch Hashem a community of scholars. So number one, Matan Torah. We're talking about when God gave the Torah. There was были спецэффекты, there was sound effects, and there was светомузыка, да, там такие молнии, there was lighting, there was thunder, and there was shofar sound. It was like, and it was getting stronger and stronger. Usually when a person blows the shofar, it goes like this. And then by the Torah giving, it was like this. It was getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. So the shofar was there. The sound of shofar was there. And then also Albert mentioned Yovel. On the 50th year, on Kippur, they blow the shofar and all the slaves, they went free. whoever had a Jewish slave, he became free on that year. It was the sound shofar was a sound of freedom. Jubilee. It was a sound of freedom. And also,
blow shofar, going to war, they blow shofar.
and also Akedat Yitzchak. Akedat Yitzchak is also connected to Har Sinai. It's also connected to Mount Sinai. How come? Because this is, by the way, Akedat Yitzchak we read on Rosh Hashanah. Somebody, you just told me on Shabbat there's a holiday that Azerbaijan people celebrate, that they say Ishmael was brought as a sacrifice. What is it called?
Kurban. Kurban they call it.
Korban Mayran?
Bayram.
Okay, Korban Bayram. Okay.
Because my wife is Turkish and I know from there they always
Okay.
talk about it.
So,
My wife is Turkish.
Kurban Baran.
okay. Korban Baran. Okay. Korban Baran Bayran. Anyway, so the Muslim people, they mistakenly think that Abraham brought Ishmael as a korban. The text tells us explicitly.
They want to believe. That's
Of course,
wanna
that's what they want to believe. But anyways.
They believe.
Huh?
הם רוצים.
Что это Ицхак был? Who, Shanite?
Okay.
Shanite. Okay. So Albert says actually it's not so simple. He says only the Sunni Muslims believe that Ishmael was brought as a korban. But the Shia, they believe that there was actually Tzchak. I don't know. Professor Bram, what do you, is that something you came across?
What Shia said? Who was brought?
Okay.
The Sunni and the Shia.
Yes.
They have both traditions.
Okay, so we didn't come to talk about the Muslim traditions. Maybe Professor Bram will talk about a little bit how it connected to Jewish tradition. We came to talk about our tradition. Our tradition is that Abraham brought Yitzchak tried to sacrifice him to God as the korban, and korban baran, but instead it was korban baran. Instead it was a lamb, right? It was a ram.
Yeah, they bring a lamb.
Почему баран?
I used to have
Почему баран? Почему не курица? Почему именно баран?
I don't know.
Почему всегда, даже когда Авраам Авину, когда хотел своего сына зарезать,
Именно баран.
почему именно баран?
А не почему не корова?
Почему всегда баран, не корова, не курица?
Как ты думаешь? Есть у тебя Я считаю, что баран просто вкуснее.
Не из-за этого. Может быть, у барана есть какая-то сила?
Ну, окей, из коровы шофар нельзя сделать. Из ее рогов точно нельзя сделать.
Окей, ну почему?
Ну, я думаю, что это с
баран.
этим связано. Ну, корову тоже, быков тоже приносили. Ты там Мигдаш когда был?
Почему коров нельзя? Быков.
Потому что у них называется керан, не называется шофар. У них называется керан. У них рог, он не пустой, он там забитый чем-то. Okay? Guys, you hear what Zaur is asking? He says, how come it was not a cow? How come it was not a bull? It was a ram.
Почему не корова? Почему не баран?
How come not a bull? Bull is bigger, right? There's more meat.
Больше
So I tell
мяса,
him-
больше товара, больше всего.
Она пустая, у барана пустая.
Разницы нет.
Есть.
I says whoever understands a little bit in meat, he knows that lamb meat is much better, right? but that's besides the point. I don't know if it's connected anyway. But the Gemara says the keren of the cow, the horns of the cow, you cannot use it for shofar. Why? Like Shmuel said, it's filled with something. Ana не пустая. It's not empty. It's
but
like filled.
Empty to
But basically the rams it's empty inside, and then you can blow in it.
Yeah, you can blow.
Okay, so maybe it's connected with this because Chazal tell us that the two rams, the two horns. One second, let me just finish the idea. The two horns that this Akedat Yitzchak that Abraham used this ram instead of the Yitzchak. One horn it's used for Tkiyat Shofar during the Mount Sinai when God gave Torah. Another horn is going to be used the Kaaba Shofar Gadol Leherutenu. And one day, when very soon, when Mashiach comes, maybe tomorrow, maybe even tomorrow, you'll hear the sound of shofar. Oh, and say, oh, we spoke about it in class last night. You'll hear the sound of shofar, and then he say it's the coming of the Mashiach, Messiah, right? That he comes and he fixes all the problems in the world, and there will be peace. And that's the second ram. So maybe that's why they used it, not the bull. Although bull is bigger. Да. Okay, Isaac, Yitzchak, you want?
Abraham, Abimelech who dali the same barana before Isaac sacrifice or after?
I don't remember.
Abimelech before.
I think after. I think after, but I don't remember.
Abraham, Abimelech who dali same barana.
У них было Бершева.
У него же было этот, у него же было свое, как сказать, у него было свое стадо, все, он...
Okay, so this is. So now we're getting to the final idea, guys. It's getting very late. Let's finish up. We're getting to the final idea. Вы хотите сказать Кадиш аль Исраэль?
הוא יעשה, למה? הוא יעשה. יש לך
Yes, ברוסית. Okay, guys, 2 more minutes. I know it's very exciting. Okay, we're not done yet. Еще не закончим, сейчас вам покажу. Сам концерт, последний. Okay, guys, let's finish up. So, one time the king got lost in the forest. Царь потерялся в лесу. And when he got lost in the forest, he says, where am I gonna go? He's wearing his uniform, he's wearing his like hunting clothing. And he's like, where's all my people? Where's all my dogs? Where's my horse? I'm like here all by myself. You know, this last week we were in New Jersey in the forest, and there's a big sign. Be aware of the bears. Осторожно, медведи. It says, if a bear comes to you, don't run away.
If a bear comes to you,
If a bear comes to you, don't run away. Make yourself look big. Raise your hands up. If he wants to attack you, throw stones at him, take a stick. Fight till the end. Do not pretend like you're dead. He will figure it out. He will eat you. Says, fight to the end, beat him up as much as you can, and then it says, if you want to report aggressive beer, call this number. And I want to add, if you're still alive, right?
But Chechen have different
strategy.
Yeah, strategy.
What's the Chechen strategy?
Chechen stuff is ginka, that's it.
Okay. Anyways, what I'm telling you, this king, he ended up in the forest all by himself. All his army, they don't know where the king is. All his friends, they don't know where the king is. He's all lost. He's afraid of the bears. He's afraid of the wolves. And then this guy, he lives in the forest. He finds the king. He's like, oh, your majesty, what are you doing here? Царь, что ваше величество, что вы тут делаете? Давайте я вам помогу. Let me take you out. He takes him, he feeds him, he takes him to his palace. He makes sure the king is alive. The king is so grateful. He says, you come work for me. And he takes him, and after a few years, he says, I love you. You're the best worker I have. You're gonna become you're gonna become prime minister. You're gonna become second after me. And then another few years goes by, and this guy messed up. He did something wrong. And запорол, конкретно запорол. Запорол so much that the king wants to execute this guy. He says, but I know you've been good to me. I'm going to be good to you. I fulfill your last wish. Okay? Before I kill you, which is what's your last wish? He says, your king, you know what? I don't have much wishes. I don't want ice cream. I don't want shashlik. You know what I want? Give me my original clothes that, the day that I took you out from the forest. Give me that clothes, and I want you to put you on
yourself.
Put you on your hunting clothes. The day that I took you out from the forest, you put on that clothes, and I put on my clothes. That's all I want. That's how I want to die. And he puts on this clothes, and he's about to get executed. And the king, he takes off. He puts his hunting clothes. He says, что с тобой делать? Don't execute him. Don't kill this guy. He says, this is my boy. He took me out from the forest. I got this feeling in my heart, inside my heart. It's like I feel that I remember now that day. It's like I can't kill this guy. He saved me. I know he messed up. But who doesn't mess up? Who's not a human being? So, the shofar is very, very special. You know why shofar is very special? Why we blow it on Rosh Hashanah? There are 100 explanations, maybe 1,000 explanations. But I'll give you one explanation from Rabbi Levi Yisek Miberdichev. He says like this. You know what? Shofar, where we see shofar in the Torah, one of the places we see shofar of Torah, when the shofar is blowing, when we became Hashem's nation. when we recognize He's the King out of all the nations. Before God gave us the Torah, He went to the Ishmael, to the children of Ishmael. He says, "Do you want Torah?" He went to the children of Esav. He says, "Do you want Torah?" He went to all the nations and says, "No, thank you. It's too complicated. It's too complicated. What? You're gonna get up every morning, you're gonna put on tefillin, run to work, then pay your kids tuition, and then you go learn Torah every day, go to class every Wednesday, right? You have to wear yarmulke, you have to wear tzitzit. There's so much to do. You go out with your friends, you cannot eat shrimps, you cannot eat non-kosher meat, you cannot eat shurigushte. What is this? My pelumeni sa smetana, I cannot eat, It's complicated, Thank you very much, God. Thank you very much. I don't want the Torah, and when Hashem came to us, He says, "Do you want Torah?" He says, "How much?" He says, "Free. I will take 2." Hashem says, "Oh, Zacharti lach chesed noraich." I remember you Jewish nation. You like my bride, who you married me and you went after me, even though I didn't have anything. The guy comes he says to the girl, he says, "I love you so much, come with me." She says, "But you don't have apartment, you don't have a car, you don't have nothing." He says, "But I love you, come with me. I promise you, you're going to be my queen. I promise you, I'm going to make you happy. I'm going to work so hard. I will buy you apartment, I will buy you a car, I will buy you everything, and a swimming pool, everything."
Promises.
and you know what? And she goes after him. And then this guy makes it. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, he becomes very wealthy. And he says, "I remember you went after me, even though I had nothing. I had nothing to give you." God says, "Zacharti lach chesed noraich." I remember you. I remember you, Jewish people. You went after me. Where did you go? You went to the desert. There's nothing there. There's no water. There's no food. There's dry, hot stuff. There's no air conditioning. You went after me. You trusted me. Zacharti lach chesed noraich. I remember you were young. You married me. I didn't offer you nothing, but you came after me. You trusted me. I remember this. This is the sound of shofar. This is every Rosh Hashanah we sound shofar. It says, "God, remember we went after you.
There you go.
You are our king. Nobody recognizes you as the king. We recognize you as the king. Remember, you blow the shofar on the Mount Sinai. Who stood there? Bnei Ishmael, they didn't stand there. Bnei Esav, they didn't stand. Only we, the Jewish people, we recognized you as the king. We loved you so much. We went after you, and this is the sound of shofar. This is basically what we're trying to remind God that yes, we messed up the whole year, our whole life. We haven't been keeping what we're supposed to keep. We haven't been doing what we're supposed to do. Many times we missed Shabbat. Many times we missed Tefillin. Many times we missed many different commandments.
But
we hurt our friends, we hurt our family, we did a lot of bad things, but we remember you are our king. Look at the synagogue was full. We came to recognize you as the Melech. We came to recognize you as the king. We came to listen to shofar. Guys, make sure to come to listen to shofar, or else this is all for nothing, right? Come listen to the shofar. Let the shofar wake you up. Let the shofar wake all of us up. B'ezrat Hashem, it should be a zchut for us and the whole Jewish people. Kaddish al Israel. Rabbi Hanani ben Akash omer, Atzak Kadosh Baruch Hu zakot tzedakah, yibal Torah mitzvot. Adonai havetz leman tzedko, yagdiv Torah v'yadid.
Amin ki ratzon.
Rabbi Hanani.
Amen.
Have a respect, Rav. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Ya es, mir Abba,